Good morning, everybody. So I'm in my dressing gown, so I'm just going to talk and show you the cacao and how to make it this morning. So here are some of my ingredients. So what I do first thing is get a little pan of water on. So I do per person, this is kind of boiling kettle water. I just kind of realised that it would be really useful to film this, seeing as a few you guys have been asking how I do it. So I just measure 200 mils per person. When I do it for myself, I put 50 mils of that 200 mils as plant milk. So this is an oat milk. You can use almond milk. Just probably they say don't generally use a cow milk. Now I'm doing it for 2 people this morning. So I will then do 3 of these and 1 of these. So it's whatever you want. You can do full 100% oat milk, you can do 100% water, you can do a half and half mix. So I am just gonna kind of work with this. So I do this first because it's really, I also put boiling water in and it's also filtered, but that's just personal. So I do this because it starts it kind of working and infusing, because you've seen here that I've got rosemary. So I love rosemary in my cacao. So when, again, this is a thing where you kind of suck it and see. So I kind of snip off, and I'll show you how big a piece in a bit. I kind of infuse the milk. So a great tip to keep rosemary in a fridge is if you cut it off on a stem like this, you put some water in here, stick that in the fridge, and it'll be amazing. The same for lots of herbs. So I'm doing kind of like a couple of sprigs, just like this. So I'll put them in there, floating. And then I add a couple of other things. So I add cinnamon. Now again, play with it. I use not cumin. I use cardamom sometimes. I always put a pinch of salt in. If it's for 2 like it is this morning, I'll put 2 little pinches of salt in. And it's just because it just tastes nice. So when I say a pinch, this is kind of what I mean. It's literally a pinch. I did over salt it one morning and it was yak. If you're feeling like you want something a bit saltier, that's fine. Pink salt is great. I just like the Malden salt. I just think it's like a delicate kind of salt. And then cinnamon. So again, play with your quantities. I personally have found that when you use it with rosemary, this is a pinch measure, and it's an IKEA measure, and it says it's 1 mil. So I will do 2 of those, 1 for me, 1 for Andrew. And the reason that I start doing this first is because it just starts bubbling. So we've done the salt, and again, you can literally do it straight up, no salt, just cinnamon. Cardamom is beautiful in it. And then something that the ancients used to do to kind of get it into your system is to use cayenne pepper. Now, go easy, because this gives it a warmth, but it gives it a really beautiful warmth. So what I tend to do is I tend to just kind of get my knife and just get like a tip. Again, play. If you want something that's a bit spicy, then do that. Okay, so that's what I've got in there, right? And then I'm just going to give it a bit of a stir. And the smell is gorgeous. So it just takes a little bit for that rosemary to infuse. So that's why I start doing this before I put my cacao in. And then, like I say, when I put my rosebuds in the other day, the cardamom and the spices can kind of go in quite quickly. But it's just nice to give them at least 4 or 5 minutes to just release. So I'm going to just leave that, and it will start to infuse maybe a good 5 minutes if you want it really pale, gentle tasting, less if you want it more, then that's cool too. Okay, sorry, just saw my dishwasher. So also honey. I put honey into mine. So purists will say, you know, it's a medicine, it's a herb medicine. So you know, people will say don't sweeten it, but if you can't bear it, because it's 100% cacao, it's a real it's strong, it tastes like black coffee. So maybe if you drink that, that's great. So what I do is I have this spoon that's got a double end. So that's 1 teaspoon and that's 3. So I'm a bit naughty. I do like it sweet. So just to release the honey, I wet the teaspoon. So I have 2 in and Andrew has 2 in. So I do 1 like that and 3 like that. And if you wet the teaspoon and warm it, it just lets the honey come out a bit quicker. And then just give it a little smush. And you can smell the rosemary is gorgeous. And I know it's really random, but a local chocolate company called Misco's in Leek do this rosemary, I think it's rosemary and salt maybe, or it's rosemary and something chocolate. And that's what inspired me to put the rosemary with the cacao. And it is just delicious. So now I go to chop my cacao. So just going to set this up so you can kind of see here what I'm doing. Thank you, Flynn. That's really lovely of you. We'd appreciate it if you didn't actually bark. Right, so scales. Just trying to figure the best way of showing you kind of how I'm doing this. Anyway, right, so I have this really strange thing where it transpired that I have a blue knife and a blue bowl, and it just seems to be that is how it works in this house. This is just my tea for tonight, and that's why that's randomly there. Okay, so cacao comes in this gorgeous raw form, and the smell is just amazing. So I'm just going to reposition a little bit so that you can kind of see how I cut this. So basically you have per daily amount, you would have like 20 grams. For a ceremonial amount, so when you're going into meditation or kind of a deeper work, a bit more heart opening, you would go for about 40, 42. Some kind of people that have been doing it for a long time will take that up a little bit higher. But what you don't want to do is, if you're looking at swapping this for coffee, is to replace one bad habit with, with another habit of a different sort. So it's really hard. It doesn't break. It's quite crumbly. So I'm just gonna, thank you, Fran. Thank you. Sorry. So yeah, so be really careful. Get a nice board. Again, I just have this natural board. So as you kind of hack at it, you'll kind of take corners off it. So I kind of like hold the block with my kind of thumb and finger kind of here, and then just kind of press down on the fingers, and you'll see it kind of comes off in these shards. It is hard. Part of this for me generally is the ritual of generally I will put some beautiful music on, and I will really absorb myself in even the preparation process, and then I really gently just take it over here. You kind of get used to it. You don't want massive pieces because you don't want it to stay chunky in the milk. So you see, as I've done that, I might then just kind of turn it around and take a bit off there, and then just really gently, really cautious to not obviously waste this. So 42, I'm really happy. So that would be one person's ceremonial dose. So this is just for me and Andrew together today, just as our general cacao. So we'll put some there you go. Again, it smells gorgeous. So these little chunks are okay, this kind of size. Yeah, so then once this has been infusing for a little while, I'm just going to reset this up. And hopefully this is really useful for you guys. So there's a couple of ways that people do this. Some people do this where it's really sorry, Flynn, come here. He's feeling left out. So there's some people that do this where they will put the cacao in and then cook it off, and that's one way. I personally prefer to work with the cacao, and I feel like I I get more creative, I get more emotive. Stuff just lands better with me when I don't overcook it. So that's what I do. And I think it doesn't kind of wreck the, you know, the nutrients and that kind of thing within the cacao. So what I do as well is I have this this little spoon, and it's just like, it's for icing sugar, and you put it on cakes. And I found this is an amazing thing for taking these out. So you can leave them in, it's just a bit, you get chunks of it in your mouth. So just give them a little kind of shake. Just adjust the angle of that, see if that helps. And then you'll get these little kind of floaty bits. So I just scoop them out. Again, if you get one of those in your mouth, it's no great shake. It's just a bit nicer if the cacao is smooth. So it smells lovely. You would not think that rosemary and chocolate goes, but oh my gosh, it really, really does. And then I have like a little nutrient blender here. So it's quite nice. What I also do is, sorry, going crazy with this, is I have these special little cups here. So these are on the draining board here, just warming. So they're a Unomi. It's like a Japanese cup, and they're handmade, and I got them from a guy in down in Somerset, actually. So I keep those warming. So just these little things, you kind of, you know, hack your own way into doing this. Apologies for this dog that keeps having a little yip. So then what I do, so you've got the cacao kind of boiling. I will bring it up because when you add the chocolate, it will get cooler. Obviously, the chocolate's cold. And then bear with me, doing this kind of one-handed. I'll pop that in. And sorry about my filming, I'm not prof at this. It will start to kind of melt. Thanks, Flynn. Clearly this dog wants to be a star. The smell is beautiful, and you can kind of see that it's just melting in there. So some people will, you know, will kind of bubble this. Again, what I would do when I'm doing this, it seems arduous, but when you get into obviously doing anything, when you explain how to do anything, and you can see the natural cacao fat bubbles just there, those little kind of bits of fat. And then, so some people will kind of work with this on the hob more. I think that, like anything, if we boil anything, for me, it destroys the good stuff. And this has got so many good things in it, antioxidants, just so many properties. And I'm going to put some of them on in the next kind of, you know, few posts. I'll start adding in how good it is for us. There is a contraindication to it. I believe that pregnancy, you would reduce the dose, but to me, there's less caffeine in this than there is coffee, but there is more theobroma, which is another active ingredient. If you're on, there's a drug, it's SRRI, I think it's serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and they are contraindicated to cacao. And again, I'm sure people that take them will have coffee, but that is the guidance that we are given. So that is what I'm passing on to you. So if any of those contraindications or heart issues apply as well, again, I think a lot of people that have those things will take coffee and really strong coffee, but this is the guidance that we're given, and this is the guidance that I am passing on to you. So please do your own research. Okay, so that has melted really nicely now, and the dog is really excited because Andrew is waking up. He's just been on a night shift. So then what I do is pop it into here and whiz it, and it gets all lovely and bubbly. Now what you get, I don't know if you can see on here. Nope, you can't see at all. So within here, you have these little hard bits, and what they are is they're little bits of the cacao, the actual bean, and they're kind of a little bit nutty and chewy, and they're really lovely. So don't waste them and put them in. So then pop that on. And I've never used this machine before. It's my dad's. He's borrowed it. I borrowed it from him because my blender's a bit dodgy. And I really hope you can do hot liquids in it. I'm pretty sure you can. So here goes. What have I done? What have I done to it? There we go. So just give it, just so we're blending the cacao. You can see it all whizzing in there really nicely. Now, you can also put this in smoothies. Okay, bear with me, guys, bear with me. Got it. You can also put this in smoothies. So you can do it and decant it in a different way. So then what I am going to do is pop our little you-know-me's here. All right, Flynn, thank you very much for your contribution. It has been invaluable. And then I'm just going to show you, if you can see under the light here, these gorgeous rainbow kind of bubbles. You can sometimes see the colour in them depending on where the light is. I'm not quite seeing it at the minute. You might see some there, just this little kind of looks like a rainbow. Well, that's just a cacao butter. So this is a real lovely kind of frothy way of doing. And then I have this really weird thing where I like to not just pour, I like to kind of split between us. It's a bit weird, these slight obsessions. And that is that's how you prep cacao. But yeah, drop me a message, have a go. Like anything when it's new, trial and error. So I really hope this has been useful. You can use any herbs and spices. I used rosebuds the other day. Cardamom and rose is beautiful. Personally, I think if you put cinnamon with that, it kills the rose. The roses need to steep for a bit longer. Little other tip is you lose some of the water because it evaporates a bit, so you might need to add some more water if you're doing that. And that's it, because Andrew is down and the dog is going crazy. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.